Hey, what's up, everyone? In this Behind the Beat episode, we go to Inglewood, California, and link up with SiR of Woodworks Records to discuss the process behind making the beats no filter and Indy 500.
What's going on, y'all? It's young SiR of Woodworks. We're here at Woodworks Records in Inglewood, California. Shout out to D Smoke for providing the space. We're about to break down the production of a couple of beats that I made. One of them was for a newer song that just got released off of the Great New Wonderful Prelude, a new project coming from TiRon Ayomari. And then the other one was off of the HNGRY. That is Indy 500. Yeah, so we're gonna go over those beats and I'll show you guys what I did and how I came up with the stuff, and I guess we'll talk about some inspiration. So usually when I start a beat, because I don't play instruments too much, I started off singing. So my production style is very unorthodox because I'll think of a melody, but I won't be able to play it. But I usually just like starting with the drums because I can get a good rhythm, and then you can play around with different things as far as melodies and stuff. But typically I always start with drums, and then I try to find a catchy rhythm. And with the Indy 500 beat, I actually started off with the sample, and I'll go and show you what that looks like. Basically what I did was I took a vocal of this guy saying, Racing through my thoughts, one by one. Racing through my thoughts, one by one. Racing through my thoughts, one by one. Now what I do is I mute his voice, but I send the output down the bus, and I take the vocal and I run it straight through the box, and it comes out like this. Alright, yeah, so with that was basically, it was pretty simple. Oh, and I think I talked about kick and snare in here. Multi-press. Super turned up though. This beat is cool because I definitely started with the drums with this. And I just got a new plugin called Effectrix. I use it a lot. It does a few things, like it has reverbs and delays, different filters and whatnot, and it also does stutter edits and things like that. So what I did was I just used that on basically everything. I used it on the drums, I used it on the keys, I used it on whatever I could to make it sound cool. And each one is different. I just certain ones I played around with some of the presets that they have on the plugin, and sometimes I just press the buttons, because that's the best way to learn. Just go touch and feel and stuff like that. Especially with plugging like an Effectrix, you might click something and it might change the whole world of the song. You know what I mean? And that's what kind of happened with this. The keys was a very happy accident. I started off with one key, and I started off without the effect, so it sounded like this. So then I added Effectrix. It did this. Now drums. The drums are simple, man. I'm kick snare heavy. Yeah, with this, I stack the kick, of course. I learned that from working with B. Cox. Shout out to B. Cox, man. One of the things that he does on, I'm pretty sure, 99% of his beats is he stacks his kick, and he stacks the snare, and he stacks most of his instruments so that they're fat. But yeah, I stack my kick. Definitely. And I just had an option. And the more you stack, I mean, the more you gotta pay attention to, you know, the kick peaking and, you know, it becoming muddy.
Then I added another kick. Then I added another kick. That one's a little lower.
The snare was really simple. Just one snare. I really didn't stack the snare too much. It's just a single snare. Didn't stack it, nothing. I always use a multi-press. And I just brought up the high end in a certain section up. Brought this up a little bit, made sure that the low wasn't doing anything. And that was pretty much it.
So this is you?
Yeah, it's me.
Nice.
That's
Sounds really good.
So yeah, most of this stuff, man, I get inspiration from weird places. Like, you know, I used to do a lot of these beats on the bus on my way to school, so I don't know what to call myself because I don't play any instruments like that.
Singer?
Tinker with the key. I'm a singer.
Yeah.
I'm a writer. And I mean, I would say I'm a producer because I pay respect. I'm not going to put no bullshit out. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to production, I want to at least make it something that, you know, I like. Mm-hmm. I hope my opinion is good in certain, you know, aspects of music. I want to, you know, make sure that, you know, we're known for a different sound of music, but at the same time, you know, I want to pay respect to what I've already, you know, heard growing up. Shout out to Woodworks, man. Shout out to D Smoke. Shout out to T Coach, Tiffany. Shout out to Davion Fairs. I didn't forget about you. If I could say one thing, I would just say that you can look out for some pretty cool things from Woodworks, man. We stay true to what we do, and we found our sound. We know what we want. So, you know, we're just gonna keep doing what we do, staying in our lane. We're not gonna try to overdo it. We're just gonna, you know, try to make good music and make something that people can appreciate, man. And we just hope that you do appreciate the music. And man, shout out to you. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to FweshlyDipped, man. I appreciate y'all. Much love. Y'all drove all the way to Inglewood, California. Come fuck with a nigga. Fuck with it, man.
You just had to, you know. Gotta do it. Cool.
Yeah, man. But y'all have a blessed one. And that's my outro.